basically, he came out and said as well that the aliens want to stay hidden. Like their agreement with the aliens was not to reveal it to humanity. That's why he kept going on about humanity's not ready thing, because the aliens told him that, or his government anyway. Aliens in hiding until mankind is ready. Here we go.
Turn up your speakers, man.
Can you guys still hear me out there? Am I the only one here?
I can't. You can't hear me.
Roger, are you still there?
Hear me? Yeah, I'm here. You're just not.
No, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Oh.
no. You gotta turn.
No, my speakers are up full.
Okay.
Sorry, I paused my browser. Have you been speaking this whole time?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I muted my browser, sorry. Have I been speaking over the top of you?
Well, it's fine. I would just let you keep talking and everything because you were doing a fine job and everything. But down there on that Jitsi link, right, or that on the Jitsi link on the side, in the chat, I've got the transcripts of Phil Snyder. If you want to read those out loud.
Oh yeah, I can.
Like click on them and it'll tell you word for word what he said in that speech that you were talking about.
We got to find a way in the future how to stream videos, both of us, Well,
I can do it. It's just like with downloaded videos, you can't really get it done.
Really?
Yeah. And if you want to,
we'll have to do it through OBS.
Click on that X.
I can do it through OBS
to get rid of that top part. Up on top.
Because if in OBS I can just add it as a media source, right? Like VLC.
Now, right there, if you want to, you can read that out loud. That's word for word everything he said. You don't have to read any of that. It's down towards the bottom.
His testimony is down the bottom.
Yeah. This is taken from the Internet Archives. There it is, the horrendous structure.
It is,
there you go.
Yeah, do you want to read it?
No, you do.
Or should I read it? Okay. It is because of the horrendous structure of the federal government that I have been directly imperiled not to tell anybody about this material. How long I will be able to do this is anybody's guess. And that's what always struck me in my heart with Phil, is he knew he was gonna get killed by the government and he still did it. Same with Bill Cooper. They're true heroes, man, because we would never know this shit or have this level of verification if these guys didn't do this. So hats off to them.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would like to mention that this talk is going to be broken up into 4 main topics, each of which topic will have some bearing on what you people are involved in, whether you are patriots or not. I want you to know that these United States are a beautiful place. I have gone to more than 70 countries and I cannot remember any country that has the beauty as well as the magnificence of this people like these United States. So he was a massive patriot and loved his country and his people. Mm-hmm. To give you an overview of basically what I am, I started off when and went through engineering school. Half of my school was in that field, and I built up a reputation for being a geological engineer as well as a structural engineer in both military and aerospace applications. I have helped build 2 main bases in the United States that have some significance as far as what is called the New World Order. And we hear that word a lot, don't we?
Yes, we do.
The first base is in one at Dulce, New Mexico. I've been there though. It was involved in the 1979. in 1979 in a firefight with alien humanoids as well. And I was one of the survivors. I'm probably the only talking survivor you will ever hear. Two other survivors are under close guard. I am the only one left that knows the detailed files of the entire operation. 66 Secret Service agents, FBI, Black Berets, and the like died in that fight. I was there. Number one, part of what I'm going to tell you is going to be very shocking. Part of what I'm going to tell you is probably going to be very unbelievable. So instead of putting your glasses on, I'm going to ask you to put your skepticals on. But please feel free to do your own homework. I know the Freedom of Information Act isn't much to go on, but it's the best we've got. The local law library is a good place to look for congressional records. So if one continues to do their homework, then one can be standing vigilant in regard to their country.
Now, before you go on, let me also remind people that are watching this. This is before internet got popular, you know what I'm saying? So he's bringing that up to reference because back then we didn't have the ability to jump on the computer and get all the information, you know what I mean? So you had to go to the library and do the research on yourself, for yourself. I mean,
it was in the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Internet was around, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as robust as what it is now.
There was no like Google, you know, there was like the old school web crawlers and stuff like that. Yeah.
So
it was, it wasn't very popular yet.
Right. So I just wanted to add that in before you went any farther.
I just want to skip some of the intro stuff. They have been building these 129 bases day and night unceasingly since the early 1940s. Some of them have been built even earlier than that. These bases are basically large cities. So they've been building these 129 bases. Some of them were built earlier than that. These bases, earlier than the 1940s. These bases are basically large cities connected by high-speed magno-levity trains that have speeds up to Mach 2, so twice the speed of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Several books have been written about this activity. Al Balick was my only copy of one of them. Richard Sounder. Interesting. I didn't know about that. I remember him saying it. I just didn't. I'm going to quickly try and search those books.
No, you got to remember too, in the actual video, it was really hard to kind of pick out what he was saying because Phil.
Yeah.
Phil had a really hard time with expressing himself. You're actually easier to understand than what Phil was sometimes. So he would. You know, well, you know what I mean. You've listened to the video.
Well, yeah. I mean, he gets emotional and stuff through it, and the recordings are pretty old too. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't immediately find those books. He worked in a number of government agencies on deep underground military bases in and around where you live in Idaho. There was 11 of them. The average depth of these bases are over a mile, and they are basically whole cities underground. They are between 2.6 and 4.2 cubic miles in size. They have laser drilling machines that can drill a tunnel 7 miles long in one day. Yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Project sidestepped the authority of Congress, which we know is illegal. Right now, the New World Order is depending on these bases. If I had known that at the time that I was working on them that the New World Order was involved, I would not have done it. I was lied to rather extensively. Basically, as far as the technology is concerned, every other calendar year that transpires, military technology increases by about 44.5 years in 1 year. That's why they're so far ahead, folks, is because the further ahead you get, the further you develop. And because they're also sharing technology with aliens, they can progress many, many times faster than the plebeians up on the surface like us. So I remember my housemate's dad worked for the Australian CIA. They're called ASIO. And at that time, in around 2001 kind of time, he told me his dad told him that the latest technology that we've ever seen on a movie, they're at least 30 years ahead of that, and that was back then. So if they're progressing at a rate of 44 years a year, they would be hundreds of years ahead by now. So then there's no surprise that we're seeing friggin' anti-gravity craft, and
UFOs.
Just been covering it up for a long time.
See, it's
anyway,
like
I continue. Sorry.
Whenever I was living in Arizona, I had to straighten it out with John too, because I've told you in the past that I haven't seen UFOs and stuff, but I mean, I wasn't technically right about that. Like I seen something once, you know what I mean, and that was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And
wow.
We lived next.
That's where I saw one too, actually.
We lived next to a base called Williamson Air Force at the time, and now it's Gilbert Airport. But at the time, it was an Air Force base, and we lived on a dairy farm, and it was one of those triangular ones, And back then I didn't think anything about UFOs, but my sisters, man, they would always point it out after we seen that, because we all were there together and seen it. But the thing that was weird about it is we didn't see or we didn't hear anything. You know what I mean? It was floating up there in one place, and there was no noise. There was no engine. There was nothing. There was no sound of a jet, and it was just there. So, but
my one was actually in New Mexico, and it was probably about 40 kilometers away from Area 51, in the town called
Carmine?
It'll come to me in Taos, New Mexico. Near that place, I climbed up this mountain, and I actually smoked some Colorado river toad up there, and this bloody. But before that even happened, I climbed. As I was climbing up this sheer cliff, I had a backpack on, and I slipped, and I almost fell off this cliff, and managed to grab on, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna die. I should go back down."